That's a problem.
We'll, at this time, take a moment of silence for prayer, personal reflection, and we'll begin our meeting for the January 22nd, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. Just a moment, please. Thank you. And I'll call to order the meeting, the January 22nd, 2026 Board of Commissioners, a full board meeting. May we have roll call, please. I'm sorry, Pledge of Allegiance first. I'm sorry, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Angie?
Present.
Commissioner Beeden?
Present.
Commissioner Torello?
Present.
Commissioner Zeller, I'm sorry.
It's a mix of you and I.
Present.
Zarello.
Commissioner Rushing?
Here.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Here.
Chairperson Smasko?
Present. Now we're on to item 4. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes that any commissioner wishes to have to the agenda?
Yeah, Steve, can I make a request?
Sure. What is it?
So for consent agenda item E, the enhanced voting subscription renewal, I did some conversation back and forth with Angie, and she was gracious enough to send the contract over. However, I printed it, and it only printed half, and then didn't realize that my printer broke, so I haven't been able to go through the language. So I'm asking if we can remove it from tonight and push it out to committee for next month? Can I make a motion on that?
Okay, so you want, rather than move it down on tonight's agenda, you would like to see that moved to committee for February, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you have some time to then go over the contract and do some more, look into it a bit? Is
Yes,
that correct?
yes, that's my request.
You have, anyone to second that?
I'll second.
Motion and second, any discussion from the commissioners?
A little bit if it could, Steve.
Go ahead, Dave.
Of course, I printed out the entire 14 pages. I highlighted some concerns that I have. And this is an open-ended contract. We don't have a new contract for the 4 years that stipulates any specifics in it. So I think, and I talked to Tom Hull on this, and potentially we can get a contract that will cover that to have the specifics in it, and also on the termination clause in it. It pretty much one-ended that the termination in Section 10 of the contract stated that if we decide, both sides can terminate it, but if we decide to terminate it, we owe the entire amount for the contract. So I'd like to get that specified. I'm not even sure if that's aware, and I haven't an open-ended contract, so Tom can work on that. And we can discuss it next month at the committee meeting.
Any other questions or comments from any other commissioners?
Did Angie have a comment about it being sent to committee?
No, I think what happened, how it initially got here was it was first under the dollar amount, the threshold, and then I think because the quote was for a longer duration of time, then it went over the finance requirement, and so then it went on to tonight's agenda, but yet it was just a brief statement, on the agenda, what we were able to read. And so my request was to be able to read further into the language of the agreement, and then by the time I got it and realized that I wasn't able to print off the whole thing, here we are now. So this is my request to you. It's up to you whether you vote yes or no.
What I did on that, does anyone else have any other comments? I did the same thing that Joy had called me, and I looked at it, the policy for subscription renewals for software. You imagine the amount of software subscriptions we have. Many of them are under the amount in our policy. But as it relates to this particular issue, the policy did provide that it could be placed on the consent agenda so long as it was under the amount of $10,000, which the original contracts were, but they offer a bundle of 4 years now, so it's over the $10,000, so that's why it ended up on the consent agenda. If we pass it without, any further discussion, they'd issue the purchase order and it would just go down the road. But I agree with Joy. My issue with this is the public expects us to, this age of technology, people like having election results on their phone or on their iPad or their computer in real time. Back in the day, back in the late 80s, we'd hunker around the radio, and they had a person from the radio station at the clerk's office, and they would call in the radio station, and that's how you got your results. Well, that's kind of old school, but the concern with me on the contract is I want to make sure, I'm looking at the company, and the company website is available to anyone who wants to go look at it. There were some concerns I had with what I'm going to call, say, some of their products and some of what they espouse or propose as services. This is limited, from what Angie said, just to the reporting of election results, which isn't voter registration, as I understand it, qualified voter lists and all that. But I'm looking at the language. One thing I was curious about is whether or not the county can maintain an expectation of privacy in the data we do share. Now, there's an option here for the county personnel to enter the results ourselves, or we can just upload to their system. And I want to take a look at that because there are issues with that in my opinion. So it'll give me some time to look at it. So I would be in favor of that as well. So I'm going to support that. But is there any other, and I did ask Angie, I said, is this an urgent matter? The contract was originally October 1st of 24, 17 months, which took us out to March of 25. We've had at least one renewal for 12 months under the contract, so March of 26. So I think we got a little bit of time, and there's no election pending that I know of. So, but I think it would be prudent to take a better look at this. And Angie had surgery, so she couldn't be here, so maybe she could be here and give us more information. So that's my 2 cents worth. Anyone else have any questions or comments? So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion carries. We'll put that on
Can I
the,
ask one other thing? Is it possible to be able to get, like Dave and Mr. Zeller and Lisa and Carrie a copy of this as well, if you guys would like it?
it's in an email. I just happen to have Dina print off 3 copies for me. I gave you one. You can pass that down to somebody that wants it too, but I'll send it out. I have it in an email attachment, and I'll send it out.
Thank you.
I already got one now.
And just,
Thank you.
and also then on that note then, when they do the agenda for the committee, just add that as an attachment, Tom, if you can put that on there. Okay, now we need a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
I'll make a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Support.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6.
Make a motion to approve and file the minutes of the December 11th, 25 commission meeting and the January 8th standing committee meetings. Support.
Motion support, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, proclamations. I see no proclamations. Consent agenda now, the motion to accept the consent agenda, I guess, as amended. Did we do that already, or no? Did I get ahead of myself?
No, I have the motion to approve the consent agenda. So at this time, I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda's items 8A through 8H minus 8E on the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Support.
Motion is second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda passes. Reports of standing committees. Do we have, I guess we can start, Dave, anything, Dave Vandenbosch, no? Dave Rushing, do you have anything?
Yes, I do. Of course, we had a meeting yesterday with the Health Advisory Board. We had new members present, and about the only thing that came across is new business was the memorandum from Dr. Nevin in regards to immunization. And I think there was some misconception on what's actually happening. He's following the CDC regulations or what they put out. In addition, he also added on the last page, a pretty good report with the Public Health Code, Act 368 of 1978. And it gives the individuals the right of the vaccinations that may or may not be given to them. So this is following those guidelines, and he also stated specifically that all the vaccinations will be available at our health department for individuals within the county that need it. He also brought up a very, out of 25,000 pediatrics, the county did 1,700, which is less than 7% of our children within the county actually went to our county health board for immunizations. But that was passed unanimously yesterday by the advisory board to accept Dr. Nevin's memorandum for vaccinations. And I got a copy. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because it's fairly long, but that's about all I got.
Okay, Paul, anything? Joy? Report, standing committee, any report?
No,
Lisa?
thank you.
I attended the Council on Aging board meeting today. They reported out on their senior project Fresh, and which is a program where seniors can get fresh produce. It's a state-run program, but the county Council on Aging participates in it. And we actually have the third highest number of seniors participate in that. We also had I think we had the third highest number of farmers markets participate in that. So when you think about, Wayne County, Genesee County, Kent County, our individuals in this county are really taking advantage of that program. 79% of the 79.5% of the vouchers that were given out were redeemed. So not only are seniors interested in the program, but they're actually participating in it and getting fresh produce, which I think anytime we can get fresh foods into people's hands is good for everyone. And it's helping out our local farmers and getting people using their products. So I think
How
it's
does
a
that work,
win-win.
Lisa? Is that like Meals on Wheels, it's like vegetables on wheels, they take it to them, or you gotta go get it?
You go to the markets.
You go to a market.
Yeah,
So you have
yep,
to
and it's
get-
countywide.
Is it like a centralized place, or is there all over the place?
All over the county, yeah. So anytime there's a local market, Project Senior Fresh in our county is there.
Okay.
And seniors opt into this program, they get a card, they swipe the card, and they can get fresh produce, and the farmers get paid. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Carrie, do you have anything?
I do. As a matter of fact, I have some information I'd like to present in the interest of transparency and full disclosure as it relates to the teen health clinics. So let me just say, it has been my honor to serve St. Clair County in this capacity, from the EDA to the landfill to the solar ordinance, and obviously what is on the table right now, in large part, is the health department. I receive emails, phone calls, and other contacts from residents who are on both sides of all these issues, including the health department. I've received an awful lot of communications on the school clinics, also on both sides. I've even heard stories of parents being quite upset at what their children had been asked or exposed to at the clinics without any advance notice, much less their consent. I believe I have many duties to the residents of District 2, as well as the county at large, including transparency and full disclosure. The story I'm about to tell you is not a commentary on anyone's lifestyle or any choices that adults may make. But what it is about is honesty, parental control, parental consent, and age-appropriate material. I might need a little help from Paul. As the mother of a 12-year-old little girl, I had the opportunity to recently experience the Port Huron Teen Clinic firsthand. My Lucy decided she wanted to play basketball at the last minute this year, and we couldn't get into her pediatrician, so I took her to the Port Huron Teen Clinic for her sports physical. The receptionist was very warm and kind. She asked if it would be okay to ask Lucy some questions. I told her I would be with Lucy in the exam room and asked her what the questions were. She said the questions were listed on a form and handed me a piece of paper. I observed that all the questions on the form were appropriate and told her so. We were escorted into the exam room, and the staffer handed Lucy an iPad and left the room. Lucy sat on the exam table, and I sat in a chair looking at her face. Her eyes immediately became big as saucers. Visibly upset and confused, Lucy said to me, "Mom, I don't understand this." I went over to the table and looked at the first question on the tablet, which inquired about transgenderism. This question was not on the list of questions that I had been given at the reception desk. I paged to the next question, which asked about homosexuality. This question was also not on the list I had been shown at the front desk. Before arriving at the teen clinic that day, Lucy and I were discussing her letter to Santa Claus. I realized in shock and disbelief that our conversation would be quite different on the ride home. I then noticed a plastic card holder on the counter filled with different brightly colored neon postcards with childlike font and childlike artwork. I picked up the first card and was shocked to see the words, "Condoms, ready when you are." I picked up another bright neon card and saw a crudely drawn hypodermic needle with the caption, "Just a little prick. It's like being immune to sperm." The next was a crudely drawn picture of an insertable birth control device captioned, "Looks like a jelly bracelet." The next card in the same crude, childish font read, Crap, the condom broke. Finally, I noticed a brochure. The first page discussed vaginal, anal, or oral sex, and went on to discuss step by step exactly how to put on, use, and remove a condom. I observed this card holder with those bright colored neon cards and brochures sitting on the counters in both exam rooms when I returned for the open house weeks later. I had a chance to visit the website listed on every one of the cards, bedsider.org. I went to the website and was met with the headline, "From birth control info to sex tips, we've got you covered." I noticed a tab entitled Abortion. I noticed another link entitled Find an Abortion Provider. Then the coup de grace, as if there could be anything worse. Subscribe to Frisky Fridays, heat up your weekends with our best sex tips. Next to a picture of a girl wearing a pair of underwear standing in front of a man lying on a bed. The Port Huron Teen Clinic is on the grounds of Port Huron High, which is filled with children from the 9th to the 12th grade. These are ages 14 to 18 or 19. As a former assistant prosecutor specializing in juvenile sex offenses, I will tell you that the age of consent in the state of Michigan is 16. This means that any child under the age of 16 cannot legally consent to sexual contact, including and especially penetration. The message of "ready when you are" on the condom card is extremely dangerous to kids both under and over the age of consent, as it tells them they can go ahead and have sex whenever they are ready. Not only does it encourage children under 16 to have sex whenever they are ready, but it subjects any older partner to potential criminal charges. I have personally charged and prosecuted countless juvenile sex crimes. This is not even to mention all the sex tips offered by the Bedsider website, which even includes ongoing weekly emails. It goes without saying that encouraging and even marketing unbridled promiscuity to teenage minor children is about the farthest thing from public health that I can possibly imagine. This is absolutely not a left or right issue. This astounding experience leads me to ask just one question. Does the health officer not know about any of this, or does she know about it and condone it? Because it can't be any other thing. And that's my information.
Thank you, Carrie. And on that last point, it's bad either way. If they know and it's there, that's bad. And if they don't know it's there and should, that's probably worse. So I don't know. But thank you for that. That involves your own daughter, you said.
Yes.
When did that take place? This recently, or?
This was just as the basketball season started, just recently, within the last several weeks.
Okay, well, okay, thank you. Anyone else have a report or comment? Dave?
Yeah, on that, that's emotional. I have a 12-year-old granddaughter, and if that happened, I'd take action. So possibly we can get a letter out to Liz King to verify exactly what's going on in our clinics, and if this is what they're doing to 12-year-olds or anybody in our high schools and our children in our schools, and this is the information they're given without the parents' consent prior to, we need to take action on it. I don't know if we need to put it on the committee for next month.
Perhaps you'd like to reach out to her and report back.
I would
Madam
like
Chair.
Tom Hall, if you would, as our administrator, to just simple letter to address this issue, and then potentially put on the committee to address, potentially take action at full board next month.
Which committee would that go on, Tom? Probably Public Health?
Yeah, Health and Human Services.
Okay. It doesn't require a vote, that's merely a request, and I think Tom's going to do that. Any other questions or comments? Okay, moving on to citizens to be heard. Joe Pavlo, we'll start with the easy one. Fred, you got something too?
I'm the easy one? Hi, everyone. Joe Pavlo. I have lots of things I could talk about. I'm going to limit it to 3. If you're not getting my emails, please call my office or email. Jediah will answer. Jediah, stand up. You'll see who my front desk is, the guy you'll be talking. Stand up. They got to see you. Okay, thank you. First one I want to talk about is the water plant in Marysville. We're waiting for the money anytime. I've been working with Quentin Bishop, and they're very excited in order to be able to keep their water plant from slipping into the ocean, to the river. The second thing I want to mention is when I got to Lansing, I found out that I don't have much of an influence. Even though I'm a new lawmaker, there are 110 of us all together, and I just wasn't being heard, so I needed to do something about it. So the idea came up of a thumb caucus. So I got together with Jay DeBoyer to the south of me, Greg Alexander to the north of me, Jamie Green to the west of me, Phil Green also, Representative Matt Bierlein, and also Dan Lowers and Senator Daley. And we also brought in Lisa McLean on that. And so we're all working together on a new thumb caucus. And we had our first meeting. Only a few of us could attend, but we need to know from you what the Blue Water area needs now. So please get in touch with us. You can get in touch with us through me. I think that's going to be a very powerful pact. The Upper Peninsula does that, and they are very effective. The last thing that I want to bring up is I'm very honored to be on a new task force, and that task force is Michigan DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. There are only 9 people from the Republican House on it, and I happen to be one. Never thought I would be selected in my first year, and very, very honored. There's a lot of fraud out there, just like we're experiencing on television that's happening in Minnesota. We have 36 people who do not belong on welfare, and that's because they have $1 million in the bank, and they're drawing welfare, your tax dollars. And we have another 2,000 people who also shouldn't be on welfare because they have $1 million in assets, and we're taking care of that. But in order to be effective, again, I need to hear from you. I have one set of eyes and ears, and you have many, so I want to hear from you. Let me know what's going on so that we can get after it, so that our tax dollars are going to go what we want them to support. Thank you, and God bless.
Joe, why don't you state your email address on the record for people, if you know what that is? Not your personal one, obviously, but.
My email address is josephpavlo@house.mi.gov.
P-A-L-O-V.
P-A-V-L-O-V.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Next
You need a
person.
card? I'll give you one.
Next one is Michelle Brown regarding animal control.
3484 Ravenswood, Port Huron Township. A few years ago, I signed up to foster for St. Clair County Animal Control. I was only ever given one animal, and I never was contacted again after that. When I look at today's euthanasia rates, I can't help but think of the pets that I could have safely passed through my house if I had been called by this organization again. This has always puzzled me, especially since I've fostered successfully for so many years. Before working with Animal Control, I fostered over 80 dogs through SNAP and other rescues. Anyone who volunteered with me can speak to my commitment. Out of those 80 dogs, only 3 were ever returned, and all were ultimately rehomed. Still today, I still keep in touch with many of the adopters. I recently re-engaged with Animal Control after the incident involving the dog killed by the 2 deputies. Since then, I've contacted Thomas Hall about several issues I've personally experienced. My first email, I received a response. My second has gone unanswered. I'm sure you're going to reach out. The concerns I raised include censorship of public comments on the Animal Control Facebook page, either hiding them from public view or outright deleting them. None confirmed by Thomas violated any county policies or Facebook rules, just so you know. I wasn't going crazy on them. Unprofessional and hostile behavior toward past taxpayers, myself, including being hung up on by one of your staff members. Inappropriate staffing disclosures, the director's social media ties to individuals known for keeping excessive numbers of animals in our area. The director sharing a post to the St. Clair County Animal Control Facebook page that implied a pet owner should euthanize her animals before bringing them to the facility and reporting them as strays. A post she reacted with a heart emoji. These issues aren't isolated. There are ongoing patterns of censorship, unprofessional conduct, and poor judgment that affect both us and the animals, the public. You as commissioners are the ones with the authority to step in. I'm asking you to address what's happening at this facility and ensure the community is treated with basic respect. Thank you.
Thank you. Carol Miller, animal control, or animal shooting, rather, animal shooting.
Sorry, Steve, my handwriting's getting worse as I get older. First of all, Commissioner Angie, I'm so sorry that happened to you and your daughter. For the past 10 years, excluding COVID shutdowns, I have regularly come here before this board to speak on animal control issues in this county. The successes, the failures, serious concerns raised by citizens, and the volunteers who care deeply about animal welfare and public safety. First, I want to thank Commissioner Carrie Angie for publicly expressing support for animals who are lost, abandoned, or abused. That acknowledged matters, and it's sincerely appreciated. I'm here tonight because it has now been more than a month since a dog was fatally shot on county-owned animal control property by 2 members of law enforcement, with the sheriff publicly supporting that action. Since then, numerous citizens have submitted FOIA requests seeking reports, videos, and related documentation. What has been released raises serious concerns. The video evidence does not align with the written reports provided to the public. That discrepancy is deeply troubling, particularly when viewed alongside sworn deposition testimony in the Scott Jones case, now part of the public record, which also references inaccuracies in official forms, among other serious issues. When patterns like these emerge, public trust is damaged and difficult to restore. To date, the public has received no clear confirmation as to whether an independent investigation is underway. Taxpayers have a right to know. Is there an investigation? Who is conducting it, and when will the findings be shared? I want to be clear on one point. I fully support law enforcement officers that they are tasked with ensuring safety, not instilling fear. However, animal abuse should not be allowed, tolerated, or accepted under any circumstance. The use of force against an animal, particularly one that was already restrained, being asphyxiated, and later described as aggressive in reports, demands serious scrutiny. This was not the first incident involving the shooting of a dog that has deeply concerned the people of this county. No matter if you have no pets, raise livestock, no animal should be dragged, asphyxiated, then shot to death. Law enforcement officers are bound by a duty of care and establish use of force standards which require that force to be reasonable, necessary, and proportionate to an actual and immediate threat, not applied out of convenience, frustration, or a mischaracterization of risk. Fear like this should not exist, yet when the animal welfare community it does, especially here in St. Clair County. This incident has received national attention. It occurred on county property. Its consequences now belong to this county. Therefore, I respectfully request that the board formally refer this matter to an independent outside prosecuting authority for review if that not has already occurred, and that the public be informed of that referral. Friendship between a sheriff and a prosecutor cannot be a reason to ignore this case.
You need to wrap it up, Carol.
Thank you. Transparency, accountability, and the rule of law are not anti-law enforcement. They are essential to maintaining public confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Next one is Barry Mudridge on the Enhanced Voting LLC.
Hello, Barry Muggeridge, Birchville Township. First, I want to congratulate Paul Zeller for being appointed to the board. Known the Zeller family close to 50 years. Good family. The Enhanced Voting LLC software company that I guess is on your agenda tonight, and you already tabled it, I guess. I just want to make a comment that maybe you should consider just a 1 year, because I see that Angie had put it up where it's a 4-year bargain basement deal to get the same price for 4 years. Well, you know, I don't claim to own a crystal ball or to have any inside information, but the tea leaves kind of read that what might be coming is where electronic data vote counting for federal elections might be non-compliant in the future. We'll see, but, so I would suggest just the 1 year, and that could save us some, the taxpayers of this county some money in case that were to occur. Just my opinion. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Next person is Paul Kitzman regarding VW extension. That's all I can read. Sorry. Mr. Kitzman, it's all yours.
Sorry about that, Chair Smasko. My pen wasn't working.
What is your
very well.
topic? What is your topic?
It's UW extension, the memorandum of understanding. Thank you, Chair Smasko and County Commissioners. Hopefully you all received the letter I sent to all the commissioners. If you need a hard copy, just let me know. I don't need to go into that in detail unless you want to talk privately or in another time frame. Primarily, the main emphasis is local control. I think one of the topics is self-evident. On the sustainable development issue, it sounds benign. I've done extensive research on that. The implementation phase is where it gets really interesting, and these are documents from our federal government and state and universities. So if you ever want, we could do a presentation privately or in a committee meeting, whatever works for you, to try to help raise the level of understanding on that. But that's basically what I wanted to encourage is local control with the UW extension contract. And I'm Cotterville, 64204 Gino. So, thank you.
Thank you. Next person is Vicki Blackburn regarding Advisory Board of Health, Board of Commissioners, abdication of responsibility.
Hey, good evening. Again, I changed what I was going to say. So I'm going to adjust my remarks following Commissioner Angie's AV presentation that was well orchestrated, evidently thought out. And I would ask you, as a mom of your sweet daughter Lucy, you know, I see her on Facebook, and I always put my little hearts on there, and I still have the audacity to think that all of us can work together. I question it more every day, and that's because as a parent, but most importantly, as a St. Clair County Commissioner, I respectfully am going to challenge you on your decision to do this presentation versus going and talking to the health officer directly one-on-one. This is the second time that I've shared an anecdotal story. And as a lawyer, you know, anecdotal stories mean nothing. I'm interested in why you didn't choose to look over your daughter's shoulder. I'm interested in why you didn't say, no, we don't accept the iPad and we are not going to fill that out. I'm going to challenge you as a mom and representing a lot of moms in those situations, walking into a place and not feeling like you can own your voice. And as a commissioner, I expect you to, of all people, to be able to own your voice and say, this is not okay. And if you folks say that parents are there to educate and to keep their kids safe, you were in the room with her. And so I'm really trying to understand where you're coming from, especially as an attorney. I think that this was grandstanding. I think it was a biased AV presentation. I think it's another example of this Health Advisory Board and this Board of Commissioners pushing politics over health. You are representative in this situation of the disrespect afforded to our health officer, and there are other people on this Board of Commissioners that are also offending on that. I'm just going to conclude by saying you're better than this, all of you are better than this, and don't be Senator Cassidy. I mean, we have a doctor who's a politician, come on.
No, we will not have any communication, people arguing on the floor here. Vicki, you can have a seat. The next individual will be Carrie Darden regarding Health Department adopting CDC guidelines.
Well, really quick, I do believe that what Carrie was doing was trying to bring to public attention to parents what's going on. I wrote down what I'm going to say, so I'll read it. I've heard people opposed to Dr. Nevin's wish to adopt new CDC guidelines, telling those who support him, what are you even fighting for? You already have choice. If you don't want a vaccine, you don't have to get it. This is the problem in a nutshell. Far too many citizens, especially parents, do not realize they have a choice. They don't know the risks. They might learn from an informed friend or a doctor who cares about their rights, but by default, many believe vaccinations are mandatory. Our schools know they are optional, but have traditionally set forth the expectation that they must be kept up to date, passing it off as a requirement to attend school. It's been up to a parent to learn elsewhere that this is not the case. I probably don't need to tell you that the most informed parents regarding vaccines are those who choose to exempt their children from some or all of them, or who choose a modified schedule. Interesting story. My old chiropractor went to his son's school to exempt him from vaccination, and the list of those who already submitted an exemption was left visible on the counter. He found several doctors on the list exempting their children. What does that tell you? Doctors know they are supposed to promote, but they also know their rights, and they act privately to protect their own kids. My experience is this: the educational system has long worked hand in hand with the public health system. In my experience, both systems tend to produce elitist ideologues who believe they know what's best for everyone else. And because they are so convinced of this, they have no problem manipulating parents to keep them ignorant or to achieve their goals. I'm not sure how much of this want to manipulate control is influenced by the huge profits pharmaceutical companies have enjoyed with shots being promoted as and perceived as required, but only a fool would think it's not a sizable factor. Having their massive profits and control threatened is why pharmaceutical companies and the systems under their influence oppose RFK Jr. Yes, he's not a doctor, but he knows more about vaccines and science than most doctors do by a long shot. If pharmaceutical companies truly cared so much about the public, safety would be much more attended to, and they would not prefer an undereducated, blindly trusting public. With Big Pharma leveraging the captured system to add 72 vaccines to the childhood schedule, targeting infants and young children, they have overplayed their hand. The public is waking up, much to the chagrin of public health and doctors in private practice, who have enjoyed sizable compensation for achieving compliance. Between adverse effects, it's increasingly common that most everyone knows someone who has been vaccine injured, and the recognition that people don't die
You
from
gotta wrap it up, another 5-10 seconds.
and have never died from diseases targeted by new vaccines. I'm sorry, I can't finish, but as a bottom line, I do support Dr. Nevin's efforts at transparency.
You got to finish? Thank you.
We will now have Fred Fuller from Yale with an unknown topic. You get to talk about blank, Fred, that's what you're...
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see that blank on there. I didn't have my glasses on, I guess, but I filled it out. But good evening. I'm here to talk about the Health Department potential reorganization. And a lot of people talk about choice in terms of vaccinations. We have choice, legally have choice. Everybody has choice. And, I've listened to Dr. Nevin a number of times. I've read his memorandums, And it doesn't seem like he's really focused on public health to me. It seems like he's more focused on political issues, promoting himself for something, and, challenging the state on its guidelines for public health. I really am fearful that he's going to get the county, he's using our county for his public political agenda. And he's going to bring a lot of lawsuits to the county. He's already got one. At the meeting yesterday, he said he practically invited another lawsuit, said it was quite certain to come. And the county taxpayers are going to have to pay for that. So should we be the base for his political agenda and have to pay for his lawsuits that he brings so that he can promote himself? That's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. Last person is Libby Prill, CAHC, and something else.
Hi, I'm Libby. First thing I want to talk about is the Christmas room. Many of you know about it. Some of you actually donated. Thank you so much. It's an organization countywide supporting impoverished children from impoverished families. We call it the Christmas room. People assume it's just really all about Christmas, and we did help. I think it was almost 800 children this past year at Christmas. And just to let you know that this is ongoing all year long, and just in the last 7 days, 14 individuals have been helped in 3 families. So if you're looking somewhere before tax time to invest some donations, it's the Christmas Room, and you can find it on Facebook. If you can't find it on Facebook, contact me. We would very much appreciate assistance. It's a wonderful organization. Second thing, I emailed you guys yesterday because an issue came up with a really bizarre accusation against Carolyn Richards not being a licensed physician's assistant. So I went on the Laura site, just anybody can verify it, and she is in fact a licensed physician's assistant. Her license is good through 2028. She's never been suspended or, her license is in good standing, so I'm not really sure why, it's just more of the, the wild accusations that are going on out there. So, Commissioner Angie, I'm speechless. Now, I can't imagine, as a commissioner, that you would come across that information and hide it from the public. That would be probably something that would get you in a lot of trouble as a representative of the county. I think it's your obligation to disclose that information. Now, I'm aware that that is going on. I read some of the terms of the KHIC grant, and I actually reviewed some of the training materials. And what you described that you experienced in that clinic are, in fact, in those training materials for staff manning those clinics. They are required to collect data. They collect data on how many guns in your household. They ask children whether, what gender do you want to be? Are you comfortable with your gender? They ask them about LGBTQ. And in some cases, as a 12-year-old child, certainly that is not appropriate for that age group. So I'm really concerned about the mom shaming here. So somebody who would shame a mother who was monitoring what was going on in a clinic, to me, that is like the individual who shames a rape victim because she wore a short skirt. So I hope that you take that type of criticism in stride and put it right in the garbage where it belongs. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Ms. Prill. This time I need to make a record. A couple of emails came in, one from a Laura Troy on 120 to me and one to Paul Zeller on 122 from a S. Cordes. Is that correct, Paul? And both of those citizens had requested that their emails be read into the record. And this particular language we have, what our bylaws say, I actually drafted this provision a couple of years ago, is the public comment shall also be permitted in the form of written communication presented to the board at public comment portion of the meeting or in advance of the meeting if requested, which is what was done here. Written communications presented to the board in advance or during public comment portion of the meeting shall be noted by the chairperson, which I just did, and during the meeting, but will not be read into the record as part of the public comment. Any such statement shall be included in the minutes of the meeting. So, we do that. If people come and talk, and there were times over the years at the Board of Commissioners where the chair would read a bunch of letters, or someone would read letters into the record, and people weren't here, we changed that. And so our bylaws, those letters are available from both Laura Troy and Ms. Cordes are available, will be available as part of the minutes. And so when people communicate to us, that's how we add those in. So I just wanted to make a record of that and fulfill that provision of our bylaws. So with that, we'll move on to new business.
Steve.
We have a motion on A.
Steve, there's a third one.
There's a third one?
Yep, so just to make note, obviously, this Virginia Curry had emailed me through the web contact. I did forward that to you guys via email, so that one will also be part of the minutes.
Came in and, okay, that's fine. So there's a third one, T. Hall, resident of Fort Gratiot. So those will be made part of the, and available on our archives, right? Thank you, Tom.
Mr. Chair?
I don't have those, but I guess we should. I thought they sent them to everybody. Did you get those, Tom? The one from?
I did not receive any of them. The last three that you just mentioned, nobody sent me those.
Okay.
I've got a fourth.
You got a fourth?
Yes, I don't think you mentioned the name Deborah Roberts.
Okay. Just any commissioner that received any of those communications, please get those to Tom tomorrow, and we'll make sure they're made part of the minutes and referenced on the record. Okay?
Thank you.
You bet. New business, motion on A, please.
This time, I move to approve the November 2025 county disbursements in the amount of $15,878,044.77.
Support.
A motion and support. It's a
Who supported
discussion.
that?
I'm sorry?
Discussion. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Give a motion on B, please.
At this time, I move to approve the December 2025 county disbursements in the amount of $15,073,100.07.
Support, Beeden?
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Motion on C, please.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with Heinz Tree Service for the airport obstruction removal Phase 1 project in the amount of $311,555.
Support.
Thank you.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Next is item 12D.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the amendment with MSU Extension that outlines the changes in billing for staffing changes.
Support, Beeden?
Motion and support. A roll call on it, or discussion? Any discussion on that?
Yeah, can I just briefly make a statement? I did reach out to several people, and different people had contacted me as well in regard to this matter. And I think I think we are the last county that holds that position, isn't it correct, within the 4-H part?
Yeah.
But I have to say, thank you, Paul, for turning up my microphone too, that what I got from the consensus of the general public is that they would like to remain local control on it. And I tend to agree. I think local control is important.
Any other discussion, Dave?
Yeah, quite a bit. I would like it to maintain it the way we had it before, have a county employee. With our county park at Goodles, we receive, I'm sure, over 200,000 visitors there. And there was an instance in the past where There was stuff put in the 4-H club, and our 4-H club is out in the rural areas, and there was a pride flag added to one of the clovers on the 4-H. And of course, that was corrected, and I want things documented. I don't want a verbal agreement. Well, that won't happen, but then it very well may happen if we don't have it written down. I would like to have the local control continue, and apparently it'll be a $17,000 expense. I think it's well worth to have it under local control. I think it'll be very easy to do, to continue the way we were in the past. And if we're the only one left, so be it. We need to control, just with the instance with Commissioner Angie, with what happens with our children and the various clubs associated with 4-H. I definitely want to maintain some local control within our agreement with them.
Any other questions or comments from anyone else?
We have Carly here too.
You're volunteering to speak, I take it?
If I may.
You may do so, no objection.
Yeah. I hadn't heard about the flag or anything added to it.
Probably just before you, and then it got
Oh.
removed.
Yeah, so just for the record, the 4-H clover is a trademarked symbol, and we would never allow any changes to that. So I'm not sure, like you said, that must have been before me, but
Lori, I believe it is.
Lori Warchuk, yeah,
And she'll tell you that that did happen
sure, okay. But
with MSU blessing on it, and that's how it got there.
that would never get the MSU blessing. I'm just going to say that. I do also want to add that I have spoken with our leadership on campus, and as has been brought up and as I've brought up in the past, this is the last county-employed 4-H program coordinator in the state. And we cannot continue this after after Lori retires. So I'm just going to be very frank. If it doesn't transition to an MSU employee, then it won't be a 4-H program anymore.
I can live with that. If we don't have local control, I think it was working very well in the past, and I want that to continue to where, because we won't have any oversight. Once we do this, then the contract, then potentially if we have an incident that happens, then we're going to have Gary Fletcher get involved, and then with MSU, and then have an instance wherever it happens that we would not have any control over. Or if we have an individual and continue the relationship we had in the past, which you just said can't continue, then I'm going to be voting that we no longer continue with MSU. And you guys do some fantastic stuff. And I don't want that relationship to end, but I also don't want to have control over our children and another instance with that, and many instances that are happening. I want somebody from the county with oversight. If we give that up, we won't have any local control.
Unpack what you mean by no 4-H program in the county.
What's that question, Paul? I missed it.
Just unpack what she means by no 4-H program in the county. What does that mean?
So we would not continue as we have been. Like I said, we've been very patient, waiting for Lori, just like every other county in the state that has had this arrangement. When there's a natural transition of somebody leaving or retiring, that's when we have made that transition. And every other county has agreed to that, and it's been working great. So what I mean is we won't have a 4-H program coordinator in this county anymore, whether they're county employed. Well, they would if it's an MSU employee, but we won't continue with this format that we have been for the past 26 years.
Explain if you could. Anybody have questions or
Yes,
comments?
I do.
Go ahead, Dave.
So MSU holds the reins for 4-H?
Yes, we are the only.
Why?
Because we're the only land grant university in Michigan. And National 4-H runs their 4-H programs through the land grant universities. So it's not available to, any other entities in the state.
Any other questions or comments? Lisa, go ahead.
Good evening. So when this person is brought on the interviewing process, would anyone from the county be a part of that, whether it's current 4-H board members or county administration? Is the county involved in the hiring process at all?
Yeah, so we currently have a 4-H council member who is also a fair board member. She is willing to serve on the search committee, and I have invited anybody from the board, if you would like to serve on the search committee, we would welcome that, absolutely.
And how many boards right now oversee I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar with 4-H. It's been a long time since I was part of the program. How many, there's a fair board and?
So it's separate.
Okay.
The St. Clair County Agriculture Society runs the fair.
Okay.
Which 4-H has a heavy presence within that, but it is a separate board from 4-H Council.
And those are all St. Clair County people?
Yes.
Residents, they live here? They're
Yes.
part of our fabric of our community?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's another board? There's
4-H Council?
Yeah.
Is it? Yes. So we're governed by, I shouldn't say governed. Each county 4-H program has a 4-H council that has, we actually have, I want to say the biggest 4-H council in the state here. It's been a really, really strong program. I think there's 38 members that are 4-H volunteers that serve on that council.
And so those are also county residents, members of our community, fabric of our, they understand our values and.
Yes, absolutely. And we have a wonderful working relationship with both the Fair Board and 4-H Council.
And who appoints those individuals to those boards?
They do.
So they're self-appointed?
Right, yes. And the 4-H program coordinator, they basically are an advisory group to the 4-H program within the county.
Okay, thank you.
Carrie?
So the question is whether we will approve this position transferring to MSU having full control of it and us having none. Do I understand that right?
My understanding of the history, I've known Lawyer Warchek for a very long time. She was brought in, she was in the program when MSU took it over, but didn't have qualifications to be an MSU employee in that position, so they carved out a special spot for her. Is that correct, maybe? She served in that position as a county employee because she didn't qualify for credentials for something like that, was my understanding.
No, because she was already a county employee and she had the longevity and, the pension and all of that. So, like I said, we never wanted to pull the rug out from any of the county employees with those benefits. So we've been waiting for that natural transition and then making the transition.
And what I had done, so I guess to answer your question, Carrie, the question for us is whether or not we do this memorandum of understanding where MSU takes over the position of, it's a youth program coordinator, is that what it is?
A 4-H program coordinator.
Right, 4-H coordinator, and that person deals with the 28 or 35 volunteers that are part of the council, is that how that works?
Well, yeah, there's actually, I think there's 250 some 4-H adult volunteers, but the council itself is 38, I believe,
Okay,
37.
those are all volunteers. They
Correct.
volunteer their time for that. And then you're telling us, and then when they had, Bixler was before you and other people, the 4-H council worked well with MSU and it was never a problem. And the question I had for Tom to reach out to you is, well, I've looked at the university policies, and there are a lot of policies that I don't agree with. And there's certain changes in the community that, I just don't like some of their policies. And when you have an MSU employee, I asked you the last time you were here, that employee is subject to those policies. So whatever policies exist at MSU, technically that person that you place here is subject to those policies. And I asked Tom to see, well, is there some way we could, have the person not be subject to the MSU policy so much as like county policy as Lori would have been? Is that a conversation worth having, or is that just a non-starter?
Lori has always followed 4-H and MSU extension policies and procedures. And really the only county policies and procedures that she has followed, or, HR, just for timekeeping and days off and things like that. Everything else has been through the university and 4-H. So honestly, nothing will change, other than where the paycheck is coming from.
So let's assume, let's say there's something comes from MSU as far as like a policy that affects our kids that the 4-H council didn't believe in. Say, we don't like that. We don't want to have, like, whatever it might be. Is there a process? Is that where you come in as the extension director here to say to Lansing, look, that's not what St. Clair County wants, so we're not going to do that? Or do you just say, you just shove it down their throat, say, no, do it, or screw it? Do it or you're done. How would you handle that? How does that work?
Yeah, there would certainly be conversations, and I don't think St. Clair County is unique. There are a lot of similarities, and especially my district and the rest of the thumb and many other parts of the state. So we would certainly have a conversation and work through it, but it wouldn't be a hard and fast either way.
See, there's some of our 4-H people that have been here for a lot of years, alumni and things, would step into, maybe apply for that position or step into the position. And then we can be on an advisory board for the hiring, but do you think would there be someone we could have a conversation with about making it a local hire, somebody that resides here? I mean, do you think they might agree to that as part of this memorandum of understanding, or is it just my way or the highway?
No, absolutely. 99.9% of the time, we always want a local person. Somebody who knows the community, their values, knows the program. It's not a requirement to, have grown up within 4-H, but it's certainly helpful.
What credentials, just generally speaking, a bachelor's degree, what credentials are for that position by MSU?
A bachelor's degree, minimum.
Any other particulars on experience or age or anything else?
No, there's some preferred qualifications. I don't know them off the top of my head, but it's pretty general.
Would the MSU DEI policies, which are in place, govern that hiring, or would that be subject to, let's say we had a local that didn't fit something like that, would the MSU policy trump that, or how would they deal with that?
Well, we have, since we're federally, state, and locally funded, and we have had to follow all of the executive orders from the federal level that have come down. So we've removed a lot of language to be in alignment with that. So not exactly what, the DEI language and requirements you're talking about, but, we no longer have the affirmative action and equal opportunity language and that kind of thing. So we're in alignment with the federal mandates there.
I guess myself personally, I'd be satisfied if it was a local hire, someone from St. Clair County who, something like that. Maybe we could table it and maybe you could have that conversation and settle that part out and then maybe come back, or rather than, because I was not going to support it, but I certainly don't want to torpedo, our 4-H. I know we have a 4-H and youth fair, and I know the county fair is a 4-H and youth fair. You don't have to be in 4-H to go to the youth fair, but it would just kind of throw a monkey wrench into things. I'd like to see if we couldn't come to some understanding to make it work, understanding that it would be somebody that reflected our local values and principles.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in total alignment there. That's obviously the most ideal situation.
And maybe someone would put that in the memorandum of understanding, that language, because there's no such language in that memorandum currently.
Well, we can't require somebody to live within the county.
It sounds like,
On the
Commissioner
posting.
Samasco, you want to be on the search committee, and that could be something that you personally weigh.
No, if I don't get my way, I'm not a happy camper. So let's say, that doesn't work well for me. I just thought it might be something we could look at to.
I think that might go again, like hiring, like illegal hiring practices
Yes.
to make someone
certainly don't want to do
live.
that.
No, and I think that's what she's trying
Yeah.
to get to, is we can't say you have to live somewhere, we're not gonna hire you, that would be illegal practice.
Right.
We certainly would not do that. We would not want to put that in writing with another entity to do that. I'm not an attorney.
You sound like a lawyer.
I'm not, I've been around a couple, but I don't think we want that in writing. I think we're all in agreement
You can.
that we
There are
would prefer a candidate.
So the people on your hiring committee then, Carly, who's on the committee? I mean, how does that made, what names maybe, how's that made up? Who and when and?
Yeah, so it's myself, Betty Jo Krosnicki, who is the supervising educator of this position, and
And Sanilac, right?
yes.
Both, yeah.
Yep. Well, actually, she's a resident of St. Clair County. She lived in Yale, I believe. Rebecca Konarski, she's a 4-H program coordinator in Macomb County, I believe. And then Chris Rumenap, who is the 4-H, she's been a 4-H volunteer for years and years. And she's also a fair board member.
Okay. So there's 4 or 5 people on that board.
And we're certainly open to, like I said, if anybody on the board here, or, you know, it's not a cap of a certain number, but if that would make the board more comfortable, we are certainly open to that.
I've said enough, I think. Anybody else, questions or comments?
I think we should have a motion to review the language in the memorandum of understanding to include language that forces Samasco to be on.
Sounds like you're making a motion.
Includes language
Commissioner
that forces Samasco to be on that hiring committee. I think.
Well, it wouldn't have to require a language change. We would just welcome him, or anybody else.
I think that's what we agreed on.
Is that a motion or just a thought about a motion?
That's a thought about a motion.
Okay, Dave, what do you got?
I'll just reiterate, whoever we have agreements with, verbal agreements, and everybody plays nice, but then when push comes to shove, if there is a disagreement, if we don't have something in writing, you guys will be able to do whatever you want. And, well, we don't agree with you, but we're going to do what we want. I'm just trying to make it as black as white as I can, and I don't want that to happen. I want local control to continue.
So let me ask you this.
That's not going to be an option with this memorandum.
And Carly, maybe that another way to look at this then is, this memorandum of understanding, does it have a term? Like, something we can look at in a year, say, okay, we'll try this, and then if we don't like it, I mean, what's the term on this memorandum of understanding? Do you know?
Yeah, the MOAs are renewed annually, yeah, with the board.
So if we didn't like what was occurring in our 4-H program directed by Michigan State University, we could then make an issue of it and take some corrective action, something like that.
We could pilot it for a year.
I mean, we could look at this annually if we care to, other than just like a consent agenda item where we renew. We could say, hey, there's problems over there, they brought something in, the parents are up in arms, the volunteers don't like it, they're bringing something in that doesn't fit our community. We could say, we're done with that, right? We could.
Correct, yes.
Okay, then-
Yeah, I think, as you know, Lori has built a wonderful, very strong program, and we would never want to go against what the program and the volunteers and the kids and what the community needs and wants.
Is
So,
Lori on the hiring committee?
no.
All right, I think we've kind of beat this to a pulp. I guess, anybody else have any comments or questions on that? I'm myself comfortable supporting it with the understanding the MOI is for a year, and we can come back and look at it. I certainly don't want to disrupt abruptly the system we have over there, and given what Carly says, there seems to be a fairly high risk of disruption. I think it's worth giving it a try and then going from there. I guess that's my position. Anyone else, comments, questions? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Zeller,
Remind me what the question is at this point. How are we wording this?
Clerk, you want me to try give it a shot, or you want to? It's under, the agenda item is to adopt the memorandum of understanding with Michigan State University relative to the program coordinator position held by Lori, that currently has that job, to turn that into an MSU job and no longer have it as a county position, transfer it over. Tom, why don't you at least put the.
I thought you did a great job.
Okay, good. That's the motion, is to adopt the memorandum of understanding as presented by Michigan State University, transferring the position from the county to MSU proper.
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing,
No.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch,
Yes.
Commissioner Angie,
No.
Commissioner Beeden,
Yes.
Commissioner Torello,
No.
Chairperson Samasco.
Yes. By the skin of our teeth. All right. The next item, motion on E, please.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the renewal of the agreement with Midwest Tape for access to their Hoopla digital media platform for the provision of access to digital content for library patrons for a 2-year term in the amount of $560,000.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Motion on F.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to remove Brett Jeanette, representing United Way and 211 from the Homeland Security Advisory Council and replace with Sharon Wilton.
Support, Beeden.
Motion and support, discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 12 carries, 12F carries. G, please.
It's time to make a motion to approve the 1-year extension with Clinical Solutions to provide inmate pharmaceuticals to the Intervention Center.
Second.
Support.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. H, please.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Natural Community Services for the forestry mulching services at Columbus County Park in the amount of $38,490 with a 15% contingency totaling $44,263.50.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. I, please.
This time I move to approve the contract with Wildlife and Wetland Solutions for herbicide and seeding services at Columbus County Park in the amount of $41,700 with a 15% contingency totaling $47,955.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Motion on J.
This time I move to approve the contract with R&D Fogelsong Construction for renovations to the North Channel County Park Operations Center in the amount of $39,387.50, which includes the 15% contingency.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Motion on K.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the agreement with Great Lakes Power and Lighting to supply and pull service wire at North Channel County Park in the amount of $12,595.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Item L.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to approve the professional services contract with Mead and Hunt in the amount of $17,190 to complete the design phase of the crack sealing and pavement marking project.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion and second, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. M.
At this time, I move to approve the lease for hangar T8 for Mr. Robert Lixey and Mr. George Lixey for the term of January 1st of 2026 through December 31st, 2056, in the total amount of $40,387.20.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion, roll call.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden
Yes.
Bosch? Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Terrell?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Motion on N.
This time, make a motion to approve the supply agreement with Univar for a 12-month period for a term of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 for a total estimated amount of $36,237.30, with a 10% allowance for increased sulfuric acid usage.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Oh, please, motion.
This time I make a motion to approve the proposal from Shirkey Electric for Flair 3 network infrastructure and status connectivity for the term of January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026 in the amount of $22,200.
Second.
Motion is second, discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Motion on P.
This time I move to approve the increase to the current non-routine portion of the Michigan wastewater contract in the amount of $40,000.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Beeden?
Yes.
Commissioner Torello?
Yes.
Commissioner Zeller?
Yes.
Commissioner Rushing?
Yes.
Commissioner Vanden Bosch?
Yes.
Commissioner Commissioner Angie?
Yes.
Chairperson Smasko?
Yes. Item 12Q, motion please.
Make a motion to adopt Resolution 2601, changing the designated contact person of the designated planning agency for the materials management plan.
Second.
Motion is second, discussion. Who is that person?
The,
You know?
the person it will be designated to is Pete. Complaints, yep.
Okay, I see, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 12R, motion please.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the list of pre-qualified architects and engineers for the term of January 2026 through December 31st, 2028.
Support.
Motion and support, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? R carries. Item 12S, motion please.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt Resolution 26-02, designating authorized signatures for the County of St. Clair.
Support, Beeden.
We have a motion and support, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item T.
This time I'd like to make a motion to approve the addition of the custodian 2 to the Sheriff's Office Intervention Center manning table.
Second.
Thank you.
We have motion and a second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We now have the second administrator's report, January 2026.
Thank you, Chairperson Samasko. You'll see on the administrator's report just a couple of things. The materials management planning, we will have to address and evaluate the waste stream protocols as part of that, so that's something that will come to you as a discussion point. The other thing is the supplemental environmental plan. I know that there were some emails that went through from Mr. Fletcher in regards to that. So I think, we'd like to open up some discussion, seeing how we want to tackle that. We are held under a specific time limit to ensure that we're compliant with the agreement with Eagle. So is that something that the board would like me to structure as part of that conversation, or is that something that you would like to kind of appoint to, Chairperson Smasko?
How would you structure that? What's your suggestion?
I think going off of the email from Mr. Fletcher, it was, some of the local, obviously some commissioners, some of the locals from, Kimball, Mr. Usikowski potentially as the township supervisor, just to gain kind of that, the opinion of, what he's hearing from the community, seeing if there's anything that we can determine through that so that it can be presented as a concept to the board here.
So your idea would be to, if you did that, you'd have a report back to us perhaps next month on your progress in that regard. And if we can land on something that everyone agrees with, then we may avoid committees and further delay. We can get moving on it.
No, I agree. And I think, being able to have those meetings and snowball a concept, I think is important for the board to consider. Otherwise I worry that we won't make enough progress to meet that deadline So I certainly want to have some type of meeting to be progressive in this. It is time sensitive. And if this is something that the county would like to pursue as that SEP program, otherwise we would have to just pay that flat fee to Eagle.
Unless there's a strong objection, I would suggest we take Tom up on this spirit of volunteerism here and manage that for us, so we can all communicate with them, and is that agreeable? Make it so.
On it. Other thing is the courthouse assessment. We're going through that assessment with Tetra Tech and Redstone Architects. Interviews have been completed. I'm anticipating a full report come through, I would say within the next 30 days, hopefully. I've gotten drafts, we've had some discussions, but certainly that full assessment will come through. And then obviously the other thing is the plowing and salting services continue to evaluate, hearing that, there are areas in the county that, may not be getting the attention that they deserve. So certainly something that we're continuing to evaluate to ensure that we don't have employees or the public, slipping and falling. So we want to make sure that we're tackling that appropriately.
Any questions or comments for our administrator? Hearing none. Is that your report, Tom?
Sure is.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
We'll move on to miscellaneous business. Seeing none.
I got one thing if I could.
Of course, Dave.
And it has to do with what Carrie Angie brought up. We represent 160,000 residents. Each one of us has approximately 23,000. And if something comes to my attention, that I definitely want to put it in a public format, because if we don't make it in a public format, then the people that actually follow this board and what we do would never hear of it. And I think this issue that you brought up is very serious, and I think it needs to be addressed in a public format.
Thank you for those comments. Any other miscellaneous business from any commissioners? Hearing none. Motion on 15, please.
This time, I move to receive and file packets that were sent to commissioners, packets at their places, and any other information presented.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Do we have discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Item 16 is a motion for closed session to discuss collective bargaining. We have a motion. Are we doing that? Fletcher's not here. Tom, is that?
Is not, no, it'll be Dina and I.
Okay. So we need a motion on 16?
This time I move to, for us to go into a closed session for the purpose of discussing collective bargaining, negotiation strategy, and to adjourn immediately thereafter.
Support.
We have motion and support, and I'll note for the record, we've laid out the statutory basis for the closed session relative to the bargaining and negotiation strategy. Anyone have any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then I guess we adjourn. Well, it's already part of the adjournment on the motion. Very good. We're done. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the meeting.